Dr. Danita, your host for Baggage Claim, Unpack Your Bags with Dr. Danita. We're back for season 2. It's season 2 already. And you know that I often say that on this carousel of life, picking up baggage is sometimes really unavoidable. But unpacking those bags becomes a choice. So I'm coming on live every single week, and I'm going to offer those educational tips and emotional health tips, but just remember that they are in no way a replacement for professional counseling. If you're finding that those bags that you're carrying are way too heavy for you to carry, definitely reach out for help. You can find me on my Facebook page at Dr. Danita Thompson. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to catch those replays. All right, so I'm ready to join you live. Remember to hit like and share. You want everyone to know that I'm going on. Like and share, and let's get started. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back. This is episode 3 of season 2, Baggage Claim, Unpack Your Bags with Dr. Danita, and I'm excited about our topic on tonight. And before we get started, we'll do what we do. Please like and share, like and share. If you are a fan, you've been watching for a while, go ahead and clap. Give us some claps. And if you are watching for the first time, let us know that you're watching for the first time and let us know where you're watching from. And so I am absolutely thrilled about the live on tonight. This episode is Parenting the Other Side of 18, and it's part 2. Last week we had the 3 men in my life, my husband and my 2 sons, and tonight we have my beauty. Oh my gosh. And so before we get started, don't forget to like and share. And if you are catching the replay, let us know that you're catching the replay. And if you don't have time to stay on, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can catch the notification when it gets uploaded. So let's get started. This is a special night for me to talk about our adult-to-adult relationship with my daughter. And Kiara is now in grad school, and she's following her mom's footsteps, and she's studying counseling. Her career goal is to be a professional Christian counselor and then move on to become a psychologist, which is a level above her mom. And so that's really exciting because every parent wants their children to excel above where they have been able to attain. And so I'm pretty excited about that and continue to root her on. But as I have read, I don't know about it, as it relates to us, because you haven't really complained about it, but from what I read, it's a lot of pressure to follow your mom's footsteps, and there's always that, knowingly or unknowingly, moms tend to want their daughters to be like them, and so there's this pressure to for their personality, for their values and their choices. The moms want to kind of like guide those aspects of their daughter's life. And so let me just ask you, do you feel pressured, or what is it like following in my footsteps, especially since you have chosen the same career path?
Yes, so I actually don't really feel like the pressure to fill your shoes. If anything, I feel a lot more prepared for my field, and I kind of feel like you did a lot of the hard legwork for me. So I don't necessarily feel the pressure, but I'm just grateful that you already have, walked that path, and it has opened a lot of doors for me. I wouldn't be going to the school that I'm going to if you weren't walking in the career that you're walking in. Just even in pursuing counseling, there's so many like nuances, things that people can easily miss. And so because you've already done it, I mean, I just have to ask you, and you'll walk me through the whole thing. So grateful more than I am feeling pressured.
Yeah, and I'm just really excited because it adds to our conversations and the topics that we have to talk about, especially as you get deeper into your studies. And so congratulations to Kiara. She finished her first year of grad school. And so you finished?
Yes.
Yeah, first year is done. Yeah, so that's really, really exciting. I counsel a lot of young adults, and I've had a lot of young women that I've counseled, and young girls, they tend to struggle, with their relationship. And I know you've encountered a lot of girls in college that talk about the struggle that they have trying to connect with their mom, especially after they become young adults. Some say they don't feel supported. Some say they can't talk to them because their mom doesn't listen, or they feel overly criticized or overly pressured. Let's talk about our relationship, and how would you describe the two of us?
I think we have a great relationship. I have always said growing up, like I would explain to you, like my friends who have not so great relationships with their mothers, and I would always just, feel so bad for them because I didn't have a single complaint about you. So I would say that our relationship is great. I mean, we have a very open relationship. I can talk to you about anything without the fear of you, judging me, or, some parents cut their children off when they open up about certain things. So I'm grateful that you have done the work on your part to be a healthy parent. Because I do feel like that's, the major part of why people don't have the best relationship with their parents. Right? Their parents didn't do their own emotional work. So I do think your field helped you with that. But yeah, I definitely would say that our relationship is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think my sons say that you got the better part of me, because I wasn't in the profession when they were younger, and so I remember being a yeller, and then by the time I had you, I started really understanding more about parenting. I was older as well, and so I would agree that we have an amazing relationship. And I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking we don't spend a whole lot of time together, which is interesting, but we still can say that we have an amazing relationship. And some of the things that I enjoy now that you're an adult is that I'm no longer living in the thankless years. Because having a little spoiled girl, and you agree that you were very spoiled,
yes,
and still are,
yes.
But as an adult, the spoiled, it's just a little different.
The heart posture
is different, right? And so I don't feel that you're not grateful or that you don't appreciate the things that we do, and so that's really good. And then I also feel that I feel like we're friends.
I agree.
There are many mothers who still struggle to use that term with their adult child, but I don't have a problem, because even though we're friends, there's still that level of respect, and so I think we do that well. And so in that friendship, while I don't come to you with, every single thing, that I may be experiencing, I can have those conversations with you. I can talk to you when I'm, feeling down, or, or even feeling anxious, because there are some things that make me anxious. And so you always have the right words to say. I literally, I come, I sit on your bed, we start talking, and you know how to encourage me and to, kind of bring that calm that I need. And I'm like, oh, she already flowing in the profession. And so
learn from the best.
Yeah, so that's really it's really exciting to me. And so Yeah, the open part. So you have been quite open, and a lot of parents would not be able to handle the things that you have been open about. And I will say internally, I probably died 3 times, had probably 10 heart attacks. That there was all kinds of internal things going on, but I always wanted to make sure that you would be comfortable enough to share the next time. And I also wanted you to always know that I didn't condone some of the things that you were sharing with me, and I think you knew that.
Yeah.
But I tried to balance it where you knew for sure that I didn't condone it, but you also knew for sure that even the next time you could come back and I would die 3 more deaths inside and then go sit on somebody else's couch and cry. And
I think that I'm so comfortable telling you things that there have been times where I'll say something and forget that I didn't tell you that thing. And then you'd be like, what? When did that happen? What? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I didn't tell you that? Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So don't forget, this is interactive, and so we are going to keep track of your comments in the live. And so definitely, if you have a question or you just want to make a comment, we are paying attention. So with that, talking about you sharing things with me that made me die inside, what would you consider to be the hardest part of our relationship?
The fact that I'm an adult and living in your house. I think that will forever be the hardest part until I move out. But I think, definitely trying to grow up while you watch me is definitely difficult. I think there are times where there's like this internal struggle between, well, she's my mom, like I want her to be giving me input and guiding me and leading me, but also I'm 24. I want to make these decisions on my own without, her opinion or what she might think. So I definitely think that's a hard part. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that you are completely hands-off. So, or want to be.
I don't.
So, yeah, there's also not only my own internal struggle, but you also are trying to be very hands-on, which is like bittersweet because, of course, I want my mother to be involved in my growing up process, but at the same time, there's limits.
Yeah, so that's probably the most frustrating part for me too, having you grow up and having a 24-year-old, because I have expectations that don't always get met, and I'm thinking you're 24, you should this and that, and I shouldn't have to ask, and and all the parents know as well.
Yeah.
And so that probably is the most challenging for me as well, but I remembered, I don't know if I had this conversation with you out of frustration because I wanted to guide your life, but I noticed things. Of course, a parent notices things, mm-hmm. and they want to kind of but you didn't respond to the things that. So I had this conversation with you, and I said, "You tell me." Do you remember? I know you don't remember all the conversations that we had, but I said, I want you to tell me when you want me to be involved. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I'm going to stay out. As it relates to school, as it relates to, just life, career, whatever, looking for a job, you let me know. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And internally, I was like, I wonder if she's going to ever come back. I wonder if she's going to ask me. I wonder if she's going to ask for advice. I wonder, and if she asked for it, is she going to take it? Those were all the things going on in my head. And I have to say, you come back occasionally, but I could see you trying to figure this out, on your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was married. I was married 6 years with a 2-year-old by the time I was 24. So all of this is very different for me because
was watching me be young and single.
Yeah, young and single, and the things that you are doing. I had a kid. I wasn't out hanging out. All of this, all of that is new. And although I saw it with your brothers, double standards are real. They just are.
Mm-hmm.
And so you hanging out is a different story. And it's very, very challenging, that level of freedom.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I don't think that you necessarily take advantage of it, but just any of it is it's just hard. It's just hard. No matter how I look at it, it's just hard. So that part of you, being in the home and so, like I was saying, I was already married and grown, which brings us to the question that is posted on our page. And if you didn't get a chance to read it, I am going to, well, maybe I'm not going to jump over to it because navigating all of this is a little bit much. But the question was in reference to, I think I do have to go to it. How do you know you're grown? You can go to it. And so if you didn't get a chance to comment on that particular question, go ahead and check it out. Let's see. Where is that question posted?
Here it comes.
It's coming?
Mm-hmm.
There's a quote from Toni Morrison, and we have Wi-Fi issues going on here. And so, here we go. Okay. And so the question is, well, the quote was, grown don't mean nothing to a mother. A child is a child. They get bigger, older, but grown? What's that supposed to mean? In my heart, it don't mean a thing. And that was a quote by Toni Morrison. And so the question is, what does being grown mean to you?
Well, I would say that you're not grown until you literally don't have to rely on your parents for absolutely anything. That's the practical part of it. But also, you're not grown if emotionally you're not mature either.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of people who can support themselves but are absolutely childish.
I absolutely agree with you. And I thought about that when looking at that question, and I'm saying, I'm married at 18, and by the time I was 24, I was married 6 years with a 2-year-old, but I was still
childish.
Growing up. Making real life decisions at 18 and your brain is still developing all the way into 26. I made a lot of poor decisions. And so I can say that I wasn't really grown. It's not just about being able to support yourself, but it's about being able to navigate life and make good, healthy adult decisions. And Alvin Thompson, he made he posted a response, and I absolutely agree with your response, Alvin, in reference to the importance of establishing boundaries. He talked more about the adult to adult relationship, and once the adult child gets grown, they're able to establish, healthy boundaries. They should be. and the parent should respect those, those boundaries. Do you think I respect your boundaries?
I think that I have very low expectations as far as boundaries go because I live in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really claim too many boundaries because I don't really feel as though I have the right to. I think there are certain areas I have the right to claim boundaries, but the places and the areas where I feel like maybe somebody else in my position would feel like you disrespect their boundaries, like coming into my room without asking, just busting in. I think that another 24-year-old would be like, hey, can you not?
Yeah, but if you said, hey, can you not, I wouldn't. But you never act like it matters.
No, it doesn't matter. I also think that you probably would forget. Yeah, you would continue to bust into my room. No.
I don't know, because I always knocked on your brother's doors, but I think because you're a girl, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. They all knock on my door.
Because you're a girl.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't knock on yours either.
You don't. Well, I mean, you do if you know dad's in there, but...
Yeah, but other than that...
Yeah. I'm not advocating that boundaries be that loose, but what works for you works for you. And I would say that everybody deserves privacy. But in this case, it seems to work for us. And so we don't try to fix what's not broke, right?
Right.
But if you said to me tonight on this show, Mom, I prefer that you knock on my door, I would, because I think that is absolutely appropriate.
Now, what if I said, Mom, I prefer you not ask where I'm going?
Well, but that's another story. I would absolutely respect your boundaries for knocking on your door. I don't think the asking, and we've had this back and forth conversation several times, I don't think the asking where you're going is necessarily because I just want to know, well, not always, that I just want to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But for safety reasons, you're a girl, out there, and you're a little girl too, out there, whatever, wherever, and if anything ever happened, then what am I supposed to say to the authorities? I have no idea where she went. Yeah. She just lives in my house. I don't know. Yeah. And even Grandma shared her whereabouts because she knew, for safety reasons, somebody should know where she is.
I understand that.
Yeah. Do you really?
Well, I also make the point that I was away at school for a whole 4 years, and I was a very little girl then, and nobody knew my whereabouts ever. Nobody ever knew my whereabouts except the people I was with. But yeah, I think it's just because you're watching me coming and going.
It is. It is different. It is different. I would agree to that. And there are some parents, like your dad.
Yeah,
he called every day.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's true.
So somebody. I mean, he didn't necessarily know maybe where you were, but he was definitely checking out. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I let that be his role.
Okay.
So we kind of talked about, did you have anything else to add to the whole transitioning part? Transitioning into adulthood? Because you kind of talked about, how it's, difficult and you don't really establish a whole bunch of boundaries because you're living in my house. And is there anything else that you wanted to share about the whole transitioning while living at home? Well, part of your transitioning, you were on a dorm. You were at college. Yeah. Well, how was that coming back? That's a face.
That was difficult. I mean, there's nothing like having your own space, coming and going without anybody, asking you where you're going or expecting you to come back. I think it's just I think it's less about like a principle or a pride thing. Like, I don't want to tell you where I'm going. I think it's more about like I am an adult, so I'm coming and going a lot of different places. So to have to say every place that I'm going, you know, when I was in high school, there's only 3 or 4 places that I'm going that you aren't taking me to.
Right. But think about this. You're going to, when you get married, you're going to live in the home with someone else, right? Yeah. I tell Dad everywhere that I'm going, not because I'm asking permission. I mean, we don't have that kind of relationship. Some people do, but we don't. He tells me everywhere he's going because it's just a respect thing. We live in the same house. So are you going to say to your husband, I just don't really feel like I need to tell you where I'm going to be?
Oh, no, because I would want to live with my husband. I would want to be in that space with him. So I feel like that all comes with that. Right now I'm not married, so you know. No,
just asking. Just asking.
I mean, that's a good question, but I would enjoy living with him, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not that I don't enjoy living with you, I'm just, if I had to choose.
Well, if I had to choose, I'd like for you to live with the man, too.
No, I mean on my own.
Oh. I thought you meant get married.
Oh, no.
Not now, though.
Yeah.
But yeah. Your brother, he's really funny. So I said earlier that, you know, you're coming and going and you're a little girl. And he said, so if she was a big girl, would it not matter? I'm like, Kevin, just that you're a girl.
Yeah.
But
you did say little.
I did say little. But,
I mean,
but people, yeah. But, you know, I mean, I think that puts you in a more of a position to be taken.
To not be able to defend myself.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I didn't send you to martial arts school or anything like that.
True.
So, you know, yeah. So, one of the other things that we talk about as parents, parents who are raising young adults in this generation, we talk about how much we didn't want our children to not have, you know, or to have to struggle or whatever. And so we all come to a consensus that we have cushioned a little bit too much. And you and I have had very adult-to-adult conversations about the cushioning, and so you recognize that we have cushioned. So let's talk about this cushioning and how us cushioning you has impacted you.
Well, I definitely didn't experience an ounce of struggle. So I guess kudos to you guys and your goal for that. But
great.
I think what we've talked about is that I have now a very, 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 very difficult time with rejection, with being told no. It almost doesn't register. Like,
oh my gosh.
It almost doesn't process. I don't know what no means. And life is full of no's. I mean, mostly full of no's. And I just don't feel like I handle that well. I don't think anybody does, but I think mine is a little like, I almost don't ever expect that. And as an adult, like, that's childish.
It is. But I think for you, one, you are 11 years younger than your oldest brother, 7 years younger than the next brother. We were tired of parenting. This is all honest in all of my transparency. Just tired. Just tired. And so in that, and you're a good girl. You know, you didn't, I mean, you had issues, things that, you know, you struggle with yourself, but as it relates to us, you didn't give us any trouble. And so, therefore, it made it easier, you know, to give. And so, then your brothers spoil you. Yeah. They talk about you being spoiled, and then they spoil you. And so, you just had your hand out. Everybody's like, Kiara text today. because Kiara didn't text unless there was something that Kiara needed, and her brothers can attest. I know you're clapping it up in there, Kevin. And so, but they would always give you. Kevin was an adult when you were 8, and so it was compounded as it relates to nobody really saying no to you. And so what are you going to do about that now that you're an adult and no is a reality?
I mean, there's nothing really to do about it.
Well, I mean, the reality is, no matter what parents did well, didn't do well, where they missed it, where they, if we missed it, you have the responsibility to get it, and to figure it out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, the whole having a difficult time with being told no and rejection, all that stuff is more of like an in the real world, is more of an internal battle than anything. I don't think I'm gonna, march up to an employer's desk who didn't give me a job and turn over the desk and be like, my parents that always give me what I want, so are you.
Right.
But yeah, it's still difficult.
Yeah. Did most of your friends, are they in? Because I feel like every parent that I speak to that is my age has the same thing. Like, what do we do here? Like, we just gave these kids everything because we wanted them to have more. We wanted them to have better. We wanted them, and now we're like, what do we do here? We have a whole generation. Do you feel like your friends were privileged?
I guess it's relative because, I mean, we all lived in this uppity neighborhood, Columbus. So, I mean, we're all privileged in a way. I wouldn't say that all of my friends had the same type of relationship with their parents, that they could ask for anything and they wouldn't be told no and things like that. That wasn't everybody's story, but I grew up in a pretty nice area, so everybody was pretty good.
Yeah.
Nobody was ever in need. Just maybe didn't experience the dynamic of always being told yes.
Let's qualify that. I didn't always say yes. Not to everything. Let's not use the superlatives always and never. It wasn't always yes, but yeah, it was yes more than it should have been. Absolutely. I can agree to that. Yeah. So just to shift a little, we have a great relationship. But I also have many young girls and guys that call me mom, that are in my life. And so I share myself, or I spread myself to a lot of other young adults. And so how do you handle that? Like, how does it feel to share your mom?
It's fine. It's not a horrible experience. I am very secure in our relationship, so I don't ever feel like if it came down to it, you were going to choose your non-biological children over me. So I don't know. I don't really feel like jealous or anything. If anything, it's kind of nice to see other people be able to experience a healthy stand-in parent, and be able to work through their own issues with their own parents because of the insight that you have and the relationships that you have with them. So it's nice. I get a little protective over you, and the family in general, the family dynamic, just because you have spiritual children, but they didn't grow up with us,
right?
So, and I do think a lot of people kind of look to you and, glorify you, like, oh, she's a great mother, I want that. But it could sometimes turn into people, really trying to drain you, and suck you dry, rather than it being, a actual fulfilling relationship.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if people intentionally.
No, but just people are in need.
Yeah.
So they, so and I'm saying in that aspect I get a little protected.
Right.
It's like slow your roll. Just got a lot of kids here.
Yeah. And I mean, I appreciate, because I just absolutely love people, and I literally love young adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I would give and give and continue to give. And so I do need people in my space to say, okay, you need to pull back and you have to, I have to exercise self-care as well. And so I do appreciate the protective heart posture that you have. And I mean, as long as it stays respectful to, other people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not, it's not always easy.
No.
Yeah. So, so, that makes it easier for me, though, that you are secure with our relationship, and so it frees me up to do what I love to do, and I don't have to, walk on eggshells as it relates to, my own children, and so I absolutely appreciate that. In our attempt to get a little bit more transparent in our adult to adult relationship, and just sharing some of the other challenges that we have, you have dealt with, I think, what I can remember, the initial part that I can remember of you dealing with mental health challenges was somewhere around 16. Well, the anxiety part from a little girl, but I didn't really know until you were older, until I got into the profession, actually. But you've been struggling with anxiety, depression, and ADHD. And so those three in combo have really taken you on some serious, not only you, but the family and me, on some serious roller coaster rides. And so let's just talk about that a little bit, because we're both in the mental health field, and there are a lot of people who are trying to navigate mental illness in their families. Mm-hmm. And so just sharing some of that, like what is that like for you to, one, live with all three, and try to navigate life. First, let me just say, I live with you, so I know what it's like. Mm-hmm. I can't fully process it because I don't have, I'm not depressed. I don't suffer with depression, anxiety, ADHD. But I will say that I've worked with enough people, and I have to say that I'm very proud of how you have, what you have accomplished in light of, what you struggle with. But anyway, share with those who are listening what that's like for you.
It is, like you said, a roller coaster. I think the three of those things, depression, anxiety, and ADD, just make for a recipe of disaster for an adult trying to do adult things. Depression doesn't want you to get out of bed. Anxiety makes you afraid to get out of bed. And ADHD makes it harder for you to organize your life once you get out of bed. And then you want to get back in the bed. So, coming from that angle, but also living with you and the whole family, and everybody's watching me stay in the bed all day, I think that, it's challenging for everyone. On my angle, sometimes it's felt like everybody's texting me to do something, but I literally don't have it in me at the moment. And I don't know how to express that I don't have it in me at the moment. And then I'm assuming from your angle, you're like, there's so much in you I want you to accomplish, and just do what you need to do so we can get the ball back rolling. So those things kind of conflict a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And it is challenging because it's a family is a system, and so when one part of the system is hurting or wounded, it affects the entire system. And so um, obviously, I mean, I have some education on depression, anxiety, and I understand it, but a lot of people don't, and so that could really be uh, very, very challenging and very, difficult for. It's difficult for families to navigate even when they have an understanding, and I just have like I have traumatic memories from early on. I remember when you were 16, and I think that was the first time that you had suicidal thoughts, and then again a few years later, and then I think there was a third time, and I just remember that one time that I had to. I'm hoping I don't get emotional. Oh my gosh, that one time that I had to do the things that I tell other people in my office that they have to do, and taking you to crisis. I'm like, oh my gosh, and just that whole experience was absolutely it was horrifying. And so as a mother experiencing it, I looking on, my heart was just wrenched, but you were actually living through it. And so what are you doing now to help yourself be able to move forward and to maintain health in that area, because the depression is the diagnosis, and you have more situational depression, but the anxiety lives with you, and the ADHD lives with you. So what are some of the things that you're doing to help?
I really just doing what I'm being taught to do in school, which is go to therapy. Just seeking help, not being ashamed of it, because I think that keeps people from seeking help at all. It's the shame of it all, or feeling like you're the only person who experiences it. But
yeah. I was glad that you made the decision on your own, because most often parents, they just want to see the best. They want you to experience the best, and then there's the push. You need to do this. You need to do that. But until your adult child makes the decision to do something on their own, you can lecture. You can tell them what they need to do, even though what they need to do is the right thing, what they need to do, but they have to come to it for themselves. And so you coming to that place for yourself. I'm grateful for that, and not only therapy, but you're also working on, a new regimen for eating and the supplements because all of that plays a part in, foggy brain and the inflammation on the brain, which increases depression. And so I'm very proud that you are taking those steps, because you're going to be a wife and a mother, and all of those things can, obviously increase the anxiety, and then wanting to, have a family and all of that, and trying to navigate the family with not having organizational skills can be challenging as well. And so as we come to a close, what are some of thank you for sharing, thank you for being open. And if any of you have questions as it relates to navigating mental illness in the family, you can definitely inbox and ask questions, and we'll do our best to reply to you. But what kind of tips would you offer young girls in navigating this adult to adult relationship with their mom?
If you have the funds, move out.
That's the same thing Karan said last week.
I'm telling you, you gotta get out there on your own. I have only heard good things about it other than paying rent. But as far as growing into an adult and growing into yourself and becoming your own person, I heard through the grapevine that's the best way to get out of your small hometown, away from your parents.
Away?
Yeah.
Like how far away?
Well, I'm going to go to California.
That's a negative, but okay.
For at least a little time.
What's a little?
A couple years. Yeah. I think that's the number one tip. But if you don't have the funds like me, you have to be at home for a little longer. I think what has helped me is just trying to see the big picture of it all, and not being frustrated like with the little things. So if my mom is asking me where I'm going, who I'm gonna be with, how much money I'm spending, whatever. Instead of getting like frustrated, I get frustrated sometimes, but instead of getting frustrated, I'll just say she's being a mother. She wants to make sure that I'm okay, that I'm safe, that I'm being responsible, and one day she won't be able to ask me any of these questions.
Do I ask you how much money you're spending?
Indirectly. I don't think you've ever said like how much money are you spending, but I think you've asked me, like if I got paid, how much money do you have left on that check, or something like that. Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
I know.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I would say to moms, we're just not gonna get this 100% right, but as much as we can remember that it's important to make room for growth. And I feel like those decisions that you made that we had to watch the consequences of, that was part of making room for your growth. I mean, you were going to make the decisions anyway, but there wasn't, I don't feel like a lot of judgment when those decisions were made, and we had to watch you live through consequences of them. So I would say, making room for growth, it hurts our hearts, but the bottom line is they need to make their mistakes. It's what we have been living for them to get to the place where they can make healthy decisions, but they're going to be poor decisions along the way before they can get to that place of making, decisions that are best for them. And so I think helping them navigate after they make the poor decision, like let's talk about this, not the lecture. So what you're going to do different the next time, and what did you learn? But just dialogue, because when our adult children make poor decisions, they know they made the poor decision. They're already down on themselves. So they don't need us to make it worse. And so just giving that space for them to feel safe about talking about the poor decision that was made, and then them sharing, what they hope to be able to do differently or what they got out of it. Just giving that safe space is important. And I do know that it's important for autonomy, and so that's something that I feel like I'm working on. Mm-hmm. Providing that autonomous space. Yeah. So that's another tip. But I'll give more tips on Monday night at 7:30 for the Monday's mental moment. I'll give a few extra tips on navigating the adult-to-adult relationship, the mother-daughter relationship. And so don't forget to tune in on Monday night. Thank you so much, baby girl. And you're okay with me calling you baby girl. You
Absolutely.
will always be my baby girl. Kiara wants me to live until I'm 115 because she said that I had her later in life. And so when she's 75 and 80, I'm going to call her baby girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to die together.
She said that a number of times. So y'all pray that I am in full faculty at 100 because, yeah. So thank you. This was really good, and I want to do this again.
Absolutely.
And just share openly and transparently, and hopefully you all got something out of our talk about how we navigate. Again, everybody's relationship is not the same. There are some things that are healthy, some things that, that we're still struggling with, or not struggling, but still working through, I should say, or navigating through. And so, again, thank you so much for viewing tonight. If you are catching the replay, let us know and comment. And we will see you Monday, and then next Thursday we're going to talk about marriage, and I'm going to have a couple on next Thursday, and the topic is "To Death Do Us Part." Thank you. Have a good evening.